only got one, so I'll call.
All right, if you all will raise your right hand for me.
Hold on.
All right, do you swear to affirm the information you're about to give is the truth to the best of your ability? If there is anyone that objects to that, keep your hand raised. Everyone else, you can lower your hands. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We're not here to try your case or take a plea today. You're here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which this court is authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. During this and all proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to indictment by grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to compel the assistance of witnesses on your own behalf by subpoena. You have the right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. At this point, I am going to appoint a court-appointed attorney to assist you if you do not already have a private attorney assisting you. If you would like to have a private attorney to assist you with your case, simply ask them to file an entry of appearance with the clerk's office. Once that is done, the court-appointed attorney will no longer be assisting you in your case. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bond for your release from jail pending the prosecution of your case, which may be cash or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with all mandatory fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will pay the company up to 15% of the total bond as their fee for their services, and this will not be returned. And then someone may post a bond using their property if they have net equity in that property in an amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond. All right, some of you will also have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to or around certain places. The special condition will be provided to you. You will also be prohibited from calling or having other contact with the victim while you are in jail. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influencing witnesses, or other charge as the law may provide could be brought against you, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, there will be provided information at the conclusion of this hearing. If a family member is on the warrant and there are special conditions that you are to have no contact with that family member, he or she will not be allowed to assist with the posting of bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before the Superior Court judge, and you will be given that court date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set a bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for your violation of your probation. This is usually done during preliminary hearing. One of the purposes of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough probable cause or evidence to justify proceeding with your case. For those of you charged with misdemeanors only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing today. Waiving your preliminary hearing will not affect your right to post bond, your right to have an attorney represent you, or your right to have a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived, and you will be mailed notice on when to appear in state court for your arraignment. If you cannot post bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before the judge, at which time you can either enter a plea or you can have your trial date set if you choose to go to trial. If you're charged with a felony, you do not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing today, and I will give you your court date. All right, now we are going to follow the instructions of the deputy. I believe we'll do the females first, then the males, and then I'll handle the fugitive matter last. Do we have any Spanish-speaking inmates?
Yes, Judge. All right, come on.
Okay. We'll call them up once the interpreter has joined the line. If one of the J's will give them a call, please, that would be great.
Okay, Judge.
And then I have Teresa Coffer first.
Colfer?
Is that who you have? Yes. And then after Ms. Coffer, I have Samantha Holden.
Stand behind the podium then.
Hi, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, you're charged with criminal trespassing. Do you understand what you're charged with, Ms. Colfer?
Ma'am?
Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your bond is $4,500 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Ma'am?
Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I keep it. I keep it.
Take your mask off.
I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I will keep it. I don't want to waive it.
Okay, you have a court date that's going to be set for September the 15th
And
at 8 excuse me? September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And you may return with the deputy.
Who need next, Judge?
Samantha Holden, and then I have
Samantha.
Briandra Johnson.
Are you doing all the females first, Judge?
Samantha?
Yes,
All right, and you're Miss Holden, Samantha Holden.
ma'am.
All right, you're charged with the concealing the identity of a motor vehicle and obstructing an officer. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $3,000 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes. How do I go about? Is it possible I can do a signature bond?
No, ma'am. Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
If I post bond, should I? What is that? A waiver?
It will automatically waive.
Yes.
So do you waive or would you like a hearing date?
I'll waive it because I'm.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Come on over.
All right, and then, it's Shanchika Holden.
What's your name?
Briandra Johnson.
Let me get the other Holden.
Her sister. Holden.
My French name. Let me go back. Come to the Holden. Come to the podium.
Hello.
And you're Shantika Holden? You're charged with obstructing an officer. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Bond is $2,500 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
Wait. I'm not sure.
Ma'am, excuse me?
I said I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I never been in trouble.
Okay, so I can either give you a preliminary court date and you can speak with the court-appointed attorney to decide how you want to proceed, or you can waive it and then you won't have one. Which would you like to do, ma'am?
I'll waive it.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Come on.
All right, and then is Briandra Johnson. After Ms. Johnson is Jasmine Smith. All right, and you're Briandra Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Johnson, you're charged with battery. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $5,000. You're ordered to stay away from Kathleen Johnson, not to return to 11428 South Grove Drive in Clayton County, Georgia. You're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you waive your preliminary hearing, or would you like to have it?
Waive.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Next man, come on to the podium.
All right, after Jasmine Smith, I have Shelby Mercedes. Hold on, is that a? Yeah, that's a female. Mercedes Shelby Romero. All right, you're Jasmine Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with driving on a suspended license and obstruction of an officer felony. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Did you say felony?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, no, I don't understand that part.
All right, it says that on August the 25th, you did commit the offense of obstruction on Officer L. Lucas while conducting a search on the subject. She took her right leg and kicked me in my right thigh. The subject was being detained for driving with a suspended license. Suspension or suspended date 11/8/2018. Violation date 8/7/2018 and served 11/14/2019. This incident occurred in Clayton County. You do not have a bond at this time. It shows that you're on probation out of Fairburn Municipal Court. Your court date is set for September the 16th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
Judge,
Yes.
next person, she's behind the double doors. Can we do her last?
Is that the Romero?
Yes.
Okay.
Who you want next, Judge?
All right, 1 second.
Okay.
Just if you ever get some help, try this thing over, so you have to just walk them up and go. 607.
Shoshana Adhill.
Thank you so much, man.
And who you have after that, Judge?
Jasmine Johnson.
Jasmine Johnson, okay.
All right, and you're Shoshana Adhill.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, you're charged with obstructing an officer. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $1,500 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Not sure, due to me, I haven't been able to do it due to my address and not being from the state. I've been having some difficulty with getting myself out.
Okay, and do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I'm not really too sure about it, like the terms of it.
All right, so we'll set your preliminary court date for September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. Once you speak with your court-appointed attorney, if you choose to waive, they'll notify the court and you can return with the deputy. Do you all have the Spanish-speaking inmates? We have the interpreter on.
He's the only one, he should be in there.
What's the name? Yes,
He
Judge,
should be
you
in
got him?
10. I know, I'm not here.
Judge, can you tell us the court date for this last one? She was right.
September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201.
201. Okay. Thank you, Judge. Goodbye.
Okay.
All right, he's coming, Judge.
Okay. You have Jasmine Johnson.
I have her standing by. Which one, who you want first?
Whoever's closest.
All right, I got the Spanish speaking male. Come on to the podium.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. All right, and you are Marco Gonzalez.
¿Es usted Marco González, señor?
No, es Adán Sandoval.
¿Cómo?
Adán Sandoval.
No, I'm Adán Sandoval.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second. Let me pull his paperwork.
Permítame tantito, voy a buscar la documentación.
Is that the only Spanish speaking inmate you all have?
Judge, I'm gonna check one more time, but he was the only one that could not speak English, but we'll check one more time to make sure. He's the only one, Judge.
All right. And you are Lopez Aiden Sandoval?
¿Es usted López Adán Sandoval?
Sí, lo soy correcto.
Yes, that's me. That's correct.
All right, Mr. Sandoval, this is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Señor López Sandoval, esta es la comparecencia inicial en la sala menor del Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
We're not here to try your case today or to take a plea.
No estamos aquí para enjuiciarlo hoy, tampoco para que usted dé una declaración a acusaciones.
You are here so that I can let you know what you're charged with,
Usted está aquí para que yo le informe de las acusaciones en su contra,
advise you of certain rights,
para informarle de los derechos que tiene,
set bail on those offenses for which this court is authorized to set bail,
imponerle fianza para las acusaciones para las cuales tengo la autorización de imponer fianzas,
schedule a preliminary hearing,
programar su audiencia preliminar
and determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney.
y para que yo determine si usted requiere la ayuda de un abogado.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing,
Tiene derecho a permanecer callado sin decir nada,
but should you give up that right, anything that you say to this court may be used against you at any future trial in your case.
pero si renuncia ese derecho, cualquier cosa que diga en ese tribunal se puede usar en su contra durante el juicio del caso.
Para tener,
You have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond the reasonable doubt.
Tiene derecho a ser presunto inocente hasta que el Estado prueba su culpabilidad fuera de una duda razonable.
You have the right to indictment by grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
Tiene derecho a ser acusado formalmente por el gran jurado cuando se trata de delitos mayores o por acusación general cuando se trata de infracciones menores.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Tiene derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante un jurado.
You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Tiene derecho a ver, escuchar y a contrainterrogar a los testigos convocados a declarar en su contra.
You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses on your own behalf by subpoena.
Tiene derecho de obligar a la presencia de los testigos en defensa propia por medio de citatorio judicial.
You have the right to testify and offer evidence on your own defense if you
También
choose to do so.
tiene derecho de dar testimonio y presentar pruebas en su propia defensa si elige hacerlo.
But if you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised.
Pero si elige no hacerlo, no se puede asumir o presumir culpabilidad de su parte.
You also have the right to have an attorney assist you with your case. And at this point, I'm going to appoint a court-appointed attorney to assist you.
También tiene derecho a un abogado que le ayude durante su caso durante su caso y voy a nombrar un abogado de oficio para representarle.
If you would like to have a private attorney assist you with your case, simply ask them to file an entry of appearance with the clerk's office, and the court-appointed attorney will no longer assist you.
Si prefiere tener un abogado particular que le represente en su caso, solamente pídale al abogado que registre como su abogado oficial en la oficina del actuario tribunal y el abogado de oficio se retirará del caso y ya no lo representará.
You can post bond in 3 ways: a cash bond,
Hay 3 maneras de depositar la fianza. Puede depositar la fianza en efectivo
a commercial bond, or a property bond.
o puede tramitar su fianza a través de una compañía comercial de fianzas o poner de garantía un inmueble como la garantía de su fianza.
If you post a cash bond, someone will need to bring the cash to the sheriff's office along with any surcharges that are added, and the sheriff's office will hold on to the funds until your case is disposed of, and then the money is returned to the person who posted bond.
Si va a depositar su fianza, señor, en efectivo, entonces alguien tendrá que entregar el total de la fianza más los recargos adicionales que ellos imponen a la oficina de la comisaría del condado, o sea, el sheriff, y ellos guardarán el dinero hasta que el caso se haya concluido. Una vez que quede resuelto su caso, la oficina del sheriff devolverá el dinero a la misma persona que lo pagó.
If you go through a bonding company approved by the sheriff's office, they will pay up to 15% of your bond amount, and that money will not be returned. That money will be used for the bonding company's services.
Si utiliza una compañía de fianzas, ellos le cobrarán hasta un 15% de lo que es la fianza total. Ese dinero que le cobra no será devuelto a la persona que lo pagó, sino se queda con la compañía como la tarifa de su servicio.
If you choose to use property for your bond, they will have to have a net equity in property in the amount of or equal to 3 times your bond amount in order for that to be used.
Si va a utilizar de garantía un inmueble para su fianza, ese inmueble tiene que contar con un patrimonio neto de por lo menos 3 veces el valor de la fianza.
All right, you will be given an opportunity to waive your preliminary hearing.
También tendrá la oportunidad de renunciar a tener la audiencia preliminar, señor.
Your preliminary hearing, one of the reasons for it is to determine if there's enough evidence to continue with your case. If you choose to waive it, then you'll get a hearing date for your arraignment to decide if you want to plea or have a trial.
El propósito, señor, de la audiencia preliminar es para que un juez determine si existe suficientes pruebas para que su caso siga adelante. Si usted renuncia a esa audiencia, si renuncia a tener la audiencia, entonces a usted se le dará la fecha de la lectura de cargos y en esa vista judicial usted elegirá si quiere declararse culpable o proceder a juicio.
If you choose to have your preliminary hearing, we will give you your court date today. And during that hearing, you can either enter a plea or you can plead not guilty and you'll be given your trial date.
Si usted elige, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I think there may have been some confusion. If you choose to waive your preliminary hearing, then you will be given that court date today.
If he chooses not to waive, if he wants to have a preliminary hearing, we'll give him the court date today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Perdón, señor. Entonces, si usted decide no renunciar a la audiencia preliminar, le puedo dar hoy la fecha de la audiencia preliminar.
If you don't know what to do, you can speak with your attorney first and then make a decision later, and we can give you your court date until then.
Entonces, si no sabe cómo decidir, de qué manera decidir, usted puede consultar con su abogado y de todos modos podemos darle la fecha de la audiencia.
Por favor, quiero consultar con mi abogado.
All right, I would like to talk to my attorney.
All right. You're charged with public drunk. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Señora, a usted se le acusa de estar ebrio en vía pública. ¿Entiende la acusación en su contra?
Lo entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
All right, your bond is $1,000 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you
Muy
think
bien,
you'll be able,
señor. Go ahead, Your Honor.
think you'll be able to post bond?
Muy bien, señor. La fianza se la pone la cantidad de $1,000. Si sale en libertad bajo fianza, no puede incumplir la ley. ¿Piensa que sí va a poder depositar fianza y sale en libertad condicional?
Pues tengo mi trabajo, puedo hacer pagos, si me lo dejaren pagos.
Well, I do have a job. I could make payments if I'm able to make payments.
Ah,
You'd have to post bond in one of the 3 ways that I explained.
Tendría que depositar fianza, señor, de una de las 3 maneras que ya expliqué.
ok, entiendo, pero pues no tengo ninguna de las 3 maneras ahorita avalible.
Okay, I understand. I don't have access to any of the 3 ways to pay at this time.
Okay, I'll give him an OR bond.
Está bien, señor. Entonces, le voy a conceder la fianza bajo palabra.
And you can return with the deputy.
Y puede retirarse, señor, con el señor agente. Gracias.
No te escuché.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. He said he didn't hear me. Would you allow me to repeat?
Yes.
Okay. Señor, le voy a conceder una fianza bajo palabra. Entonces, ya se puede retirar.
Ok, gracias. No.
Okay, thank you. You've been very kind.
Okay, is that the last Spanish-speaking inmate you all have so I can release the interpreter?
Yes, ma'am, that's it.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Tolles.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. All right, I have Jasmine Johnson. Are you Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
All right, you're charged with criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $7,500. You're ordered to stay away from Kyle Choice, not to return to 2070 Lake Harbor Road in Morrow, Georgia, and you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Your court date is set for September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And you may return with the deputy.
It was September 20th.
21st,
What was the time?
8 a.m. I have Desandria Miller.
Desandria Miller. Come on.
And you're Desandria Miller. All right, Ms. Miller, you're charged with criminal trespassing. Do you understand what you're charged with?
No, ma'am.
All right, it is said that on August the 26th, you did commit the offense of criminal trespassing, family violence, when you snatched the iPhone from the hands of your living girlfriend, Ms. Victoria Sellis. Per Ms. Sellis, the cell phone belonged to her, of which time she attempted to retrieve her belongings, which led to both parties into a physical altercation. This incident occurred in Clayton County, Georgia, at 230 Bristol Court in Jonesboro, Georgia. Your bond is $3,500. You're ordered to stay away from Victoria Sellis, not to return to 230 Briscoe Court in Jonesboro, Georgia. You have any of your belongings at that address, you are to make arrangements with the sheriff to pick it up, and you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes,
And do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I would like to have it.
All right, that's gonna be set for September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy. Paris Taylor? Are you Paris Taylor? Ms. Taylor, you're charged with theft by receiving stolen property. Do you understand what you're charged with?
No,
All right, it is said that on July the 12th of this year at 2587 Meade Court in Jonesboro, Georgia, you did commit the offense of theft by receiving stolen property. It said that you did knowingly, willfully, intentionally, and unlawfully receive or retain stolen property. So with a 2016 BMW affixed with New York tags, having an approximate value of $45,000, which accused knew or should have known said property was stolen and not being retained with intent to restore it to the owner. Said owner being Frank Briggs. The property was stolen in Atlanta, Georgia, and reported at the Atlanta Police Department. Your bond is $20,000. You're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Your Honor, I have a lawyer, Mentinez, and he has statements from Frank Briggs that his car was never stolen.
Okay, so hold on. I am reading the warrant at this time. If you have facts that you need to present to the court, has to be done at the proper hearing. We do have a preliminary court date set for September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. So you need to speak with your attorney about how to present that information to the court.
Okay. And what date did you set the case? September?
September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201.
She's the last one, she's the last one.
All right.
You may return with the deputy. Thank you.
Okay.
You good, right?
Yeah,
Okay, do you all have any more females?
that's it.
Let me just see.
Come back. Go inside. All right, Judge, you ready for the males?
Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right, I have Javis Davis, Jarvis Davis.
No, I'm getting them right now. Come up to the podium. I got you.
After Mr. Davis, I have Clarence Gilliard. And your Jarvis Davis.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce, driving on a suspended license, red light violation, and obstruction of an officer. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Say that last charge one more time, please.
Obstructing an officer.
I don't know.
All right, your bond is $4,500. Excuse me, $5,500. And you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I have one question. How much percentage is it?
You'd have to speak with the bonding company about that. I'm not sure.
And you said it's 5,500?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can make a bond today, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
what's the deal about that?
Do you waive your preliminary hearing though, or would you like to have it?
I'd like to waive it.
Come on over
All
here.
right, stand by to sign your waiver.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
After Mr. Gilliard, I have LeBron Eugene or Eugene LeBron Holder. All right, your Clarence Gilliard.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with criminal trespassing. Do you understand what you're charged with?
I believe so.
Your bond is $3,500. You're ordered to stay away from Patricia Bright, not to return to 1129 Summerbrook Road in Atlanta, Georgia. If you have any of your belongings at that address, you are to make arrangements with the sheriff to pick it up, and you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
I'm not sure. I wanted to ask a question.
All right, answer my questions first. Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
Could you explain that to me? Exactly what that means?
Well, the preliminary hearing would determine if your case should continue on to trial. You could also enter a plea at that time if you choose to. If you don't know what to do, you can speak with your court-appointed attorney first and then make a decision after that. We can give you a court date today, though. And if you want to waive, they can file the paperwork with the court to waive it later.
Okay. I guess I'll waive it. I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision or not.
You want to waive? You don't want to wait to speak to your attorney first?
I don't have an attorney, so.
We appointed a court-appointed attorney to assist everyone that did not have a private attorney already. So you have a court-appointed attorney at this time.
Okay. So yeah, I want to talk to the court attorney.
All right, so I'll give you a court date of September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201.
All right, come on over here.
So I'm gonna be here until then?
You can post bond, sir.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
All right, LeBron, I have Eugene Holder.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're charged with theft by taking. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
Your bond is $6,500. You're ordered not to return to the Quick Fuel at 4786 Clark Howell Highway in Forest Park, Georgia. And you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond? Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Your court date is set for September the 16th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And you may return with the deputy.
September 16th,
Yes, sir.
8 a.m.
Fernando Holt. After Mr. Holt is James Lawrence. And you're Fernando Holt.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Holt, you're charged with simple battery. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
You do not have a bond at this time. It looks like you are on probation out of Gwinnett County.
I'm not on probation.
Your paperwork says that you were sentenced December of 2017 to 4 years confinement and 15 years probation. So you'll need to speak with your court-appointed attorney about presenting additional information, okay? You're ordered to stay away from Randall Anthony Shelton and not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future.
So when I post bond, I'm gonna be transferred to Gwinnett?
You have to speak with your attorney. That's if they put a hold on you, there may be some additional steps that need to take place, but you do not have a bond at this time.
See, this is what I'm trying to figure out, right? I just got out of prison, so I just did 4 years and I only been out like 2 months. So I'm really on parole. I don't know what they talking about with the probation. The probation, I don't max out until September 18.
Right, so that will be the reason for the hold, okay? That will be the reason why you don't have a bond at this time.
Is that parole or
Parole, probation, you're under sentence in another court. Yes, sir.
damn, I didn't. So like I didn't know that I was on it. I thought I had switched over to Clayton County.
Okay, again, you need to speak with your court-appointed attorney so they can
When
walk you through
don't
the
have-
steps. Sir, do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I would like to have one in a court-appointed lawyer.
Your court date is going to be set for September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And you may return with the deputy.
See, this is what I'm saying. Is there any kind of way I can see my court-appointed lawyer before I go to court?
You can't do it right now.
You should be able to. I'm not sure if it'll be in person or virtually, but they normally come and speak to you within 48 to 72 hours of the appointment. So you can look out for them, but I don't know with the limitations we have right now, how soon they can get to you. But I'm certain it'll be before the 15th.
Okay. This is what I'm trying to figure out. How is I supposed to stay away from a certain individual when he's walking around the jail all day?
Right, so speak with your attorney about that, okay? But when you see him, go the other way.
All right, is it? I'm trying to get on my medication because you know what I'm saying, I haven't been on my medication since I've been here, and I've been telling them that I prescribe Geodon. You know what I'm saying? I'm schizophrenic and bipolar, so I've been telling them that I'm mental health. You see what I'm saying? So when this incident happened, you know what I'm saying, I was already asking for help, but nobody want to help me. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to get medicine. I haven't took my medicine since I've been here. They're giving me some medicine that I don't take like that. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. If you all can try and get him to the, I guess, the medical division so that they can speak with him about his medication, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, Judge.
All right. So I have James Lawrence and then Derikas Martin. And you're James Lawrence?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Lawrence, you're charged with battery and criminal trespassing. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you do not have a bond at this time. Looks like you are on probation for 2 matters out of Fulton County.
I'm not on probation at all.
Looks like your paperwork shows you were sentenced in 2011 on 2 matters to 5 years in custody and 5 years on probation.
No, I never did 5 years in custody and 5 years in probation.
Okay, so speak with your attorney so that they can provide the court with additional information. That's what the paperwork shows, okay? Do you understand what you're charged with?
The criminal trespassing. How can I criminal trespass at my own residence?
Yes or no?
All right, it says that on August the 25th, you got into a verbal argument with Tarika Coffer. During the course of the argument, you punched and scratched the victim. The victim had fresh cuts and bruises on her hands and chest. The offender then took a shovel and hit the victim's front vehicle windshield. That's where the criminal trespassing come in. The windshield was shattered in 3 different places. This would cost less than $500 to fix. This vehicle was a 2013 Nissan Altima. And this occurred in Clayton County. You do not have a bond at this time. You're ordered to stay away from Tarika Coffer, not to return to 6030 Riverdale Road in Atlanta, Georgia. And you're not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. Sir, do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
What is the preliminary hearing? What is it?
All right, it's a hearing that determines whether or not the case should continue to trial. It's an opportunity also for you to enter a plea if you choose to do so at this time or at that time.
I don't waive it.
You said?
I don't waive it.
You do not waive. All right, so your court date is going to be set for September 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
No, so who do I speak with about probation? I haven't served any 5 years, period. I can't hear you.
Because she's done with you.
You have to speak with your court-appointed attorney, sir. After Mr. Martin, I have Julius Moses, and you're Dorikas Martin.
Dorikas Martin, yes, ma'am. How you doing?
I'm fine, sir. You're charged with violating your learner's permit, window tint violation, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug-related objects. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $3,500, and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing, or would you like to have it?
I'll waive it.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Next thing.
After Mr. Moses is Christopher Robinson.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're Julius Moses.
I'm Martin.
Now?
No, Moses.
You're Julius Moses.
Okay, hold on 1 second, I'll back up.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you Julius Moses?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with driving on a suspended license, possession of marijuana, and possession of opium. And that's oxycodone. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am. I
You
understand.
do not have a bond at this time. Said that you are on probation out of DeKalb County. Sentenced earlier this year. You're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. Your preliminary court date is set for September the 16th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And you may return with the deputy.
So no bond, and I got it, and I return back to court September what day?
16th
September 16th.
at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201.
8:16, courtroom 201. Or 9:16, I'm sorry.
All right, and you're Christopher Robinson.
Yes, ma'am.
After Mr. Robinson, I have Nathaniel Taylor. Mr. Robinson, you're charged with family violence, battery, obstruction of an officer, theft by receiving stolen property, and failure to dim your headlights. We have dismissed the theft by receiving stolen property at this time. That does not mean that the state cannot bring it at a later date. Sir, do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $20,500. You're ordered to stay away from James Lamar Robinson, not to return to 1044 Lakeshore Drive in Jonesboro, Georgia. If you have any of your belongings at that address, you are to make arrangements with the sheriff to pick it up. And you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Your court date, your preliminary court date is set for September the 16th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And you may return with the deputy.
201, right?
201.
After Mr. Taylor is Rakeem West.
Who's what?
And you're Nathaniel Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're charged with loitering or prowling and driving on a suspended license. We've dismissed the loitering and prowling. That does not mean that the state will not bring it at a later date. Do you understand what you're charged with, sir?
Yes, ma'am, but I wasn't driving, ma'am. I promise.
All right, speak with your attorney about the facts of your case, sir. Your bond is $1,500. And you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
No, ma'am, I have nobody that can sign it for me, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing, or would you like to have it?
Waive it?
Stand by to sign your waiver. After Mr. West, I have Brian Williams. And you're Rakeem West.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. West, you're charged with battery and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Not really, but yes, ma'am.
It is said that on August the 25th, you did make contact with the victim, Cambrisha Porter. Says that with your closed right hand causing visible bruises to her lip and leaving a knot on her left side of her head. This occurred in front of 2 small children inside of the offender's vehicle. The children witnessed the offender attack the victim. The incident occurred at South Lake Parkway in Morrow. It says that you both have 1 child together. You do not have a bond at this time. It says that you're on probation out of the Superior Court of Clayton County or parole, and you're ordered to stay away from Cambrisha Porter and not to violate any laws if you postpone in the future. Sir, do you waive your preliminary hearing, or would you like to have it?
Waive it.
You said
Waive it.
stand by to sign your waiver.
So would I be able to get a bond when I go?
You'll have to speak with your court-appointed attorney, okay?
When is the court date? Or with the preliminary, the next preliminary?
I didn't hear you.
When is the next preliminary?
It's set for September the 15th. You said waive. Are you trying to have a preliminary hearing, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the preliminary hearing court date will be set for September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201.
All right, thank you.
All right, after Mr. Williams, I have Eric Wright. All right, you're Brian Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
You do not have a bond at this time. You're ordered to stay away from Reginald Anthony, not to return to Post Produce at 16-211 Forest Parkway in Forest Park, Georgia. You're not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. Your preliminary court date is set for September the 16th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
You said the 16th at what time?
8 a.m.
And what courtroom, ma'am?
201. All right, then I have James Dewberry after Eric Wright.
Sir, come here.
All right, and you're Eric Wright.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're charged with aggravated assault by strangulation, criminal damage to property, and simple battery. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
You do not have a bond at this time. You're ordered to stay away from Kelsey Goins, not to return to 2710 Quail Cove in Jonesboro, Georgia. If you have any of your belongings at that address, you are to make arrangements with the sheriff to pick it up. And you're not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. Your preliminary court date is set for September the 16th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Attorney Ryan Williams. I represent Mr. Wright. I recently sent over an entry of appearance. I represented him on Tuesday as well. We had a bond revocation hearing for a previous case that he had with Ms. Goings. And at that bond revocation hearing, during the middle of the testimony, Ms. Goings requested to hire an attorney. At that time, it was reset until Tuesday of next week for us to continue the bond revocation hearing. And what's expected to have come out, and what I know that will come out, is will affect this case that we are on here for bond. I understand you said the preliminary hearing for September the 16th on this case. Is that the earliest preliminary hearing that we can get on this case? Because the Mr. Wright will be in custody, and I have plenty of statements from Ms. Goins showing that the charges that we're here for on the bond are actually fraudulent charges. She actually sent me an email stating that she had made fraudulent statements prior to, and I have other evidence that we will put up on the preliminary hearing on September 16th, but I know he'll have to sit there until that time.
Or you can speak with the state on it. If you all can reach an agreement, can present a consent for the court to consider. I can check and see, do the Jays have an earlier date?
Okay. All right, Your Honor. Is there anyone on the call now that's representing the state today?
No.
No. I've been trying to make contact since we left court on Tuesday, been unsuccessful.
Okay, is there earlier? It doesn't look like there is one. As a matter of fact, those were the move up. They moved those up for those with no bond.
Okay.
So I don't know that there's an earlier one. So just try and reach out to the state, and if you all are able to present something to the court, we can consider it at that time. And moving forward, if you have it, you just need to announce it. I would not have had you on the phone or on the call this long if I knew you were a private attorney on the case. Okay. Actually, so they gave me 9/9 at 8 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's perfect.
Okay, so we'll do September the 9th. Let me change this. All right, so your preliminary court date, Mr. Wright, is going to be September the 9th, okay?
Okay.
At 8 a.m., courtroom 201. All right, counsel, do you have any other matters?
No, Your Honor, no other matters. May I have excuse?
Yes, thank you for your patience.
Okay.
All right, these are a little bit out of order, but who do you have? Who are you, sir? What's your name?
Name's Dewberry.
All right, Mr. Dewberry, you're charged with speeding in a highway work zone and reckless driving. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $2,000 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am. Am I eligible for a signature bond?
No, sir.
Do I have to pay can I go through the bail bond with that 2,000?
You can contact them. I'm not sure if they will allow you, but you can contact them. Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
No.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I would not like to have it.
I would not like, that means you would waive?
No, I'm not sure what that means,
All right, I'm gonna set it for September the 15th at 8 a.m. at courtroom 201. After you speak with your court-appointed attorney, if you choose to waive, they'll notify the court.
You said September, what time? What time you on? I can't hear, sorry.
I have Delron Ellis and then Raekwon Irving.
What's your name?
All right, you're Delron Ellis.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with driving without a license and improper U-turn. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $2,000 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
Waive.
Stand by to sign your waiver. After Mr. Irving, I have Alex Eugene,
Okay. So who you want first? Come over here. Sure, come on.
Raekwon Irving,
Urban, come on up. I got it.
you're Raekwon Irving.
You gotta speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with driving with no insurance, driving with no license, and driving on an expired tag. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes,
Your bond is $2,500 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I have one.
That's going to be set for September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You can return with the deputy. After Mr. Eugene, I have Eddie Fomont. And you're Alex Eugene.
Yes.
You're charged with obstructing or hindering an emergency call, family violence battery, false imprisonment, criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and aggravated assault by strangulation. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
You do not have a bond at this time. You're ordered to stay away from Lenora Houghton and Tobias Houghton, not to return to 570 Felden Circle in Riverdale, Georgia, and you're not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. You have a preliminary court date set for September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
The pen down, come.
After Mr. Foreman is Jarvis Green. And you're Eddie Foreman.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with criminal trespassing. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am. I guess.
That yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $3,500. You're ordered to stay away from Kimlethea Mack, not to return to 2504 Broadgate Crossing in Ellenwood, Georgia. If you have any of your belongings at that address, you are to make arrangements with the sheriff to pick it up, and you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Can I use that with a bondsman, correct?
Can you what?
Can I use that with a bondsman, a bonding company?
You can contact them. I'm not sure what their response will be.
Okay.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
What does it mean if I waive it?
Okay, if you waive, in essence, you're saying that you don't want a probable cause hearing, and then you'll get your court date to appear for your arraignment. If you want to have your preliminary hearing, you want to have the hearing that determines if there's enough evidence to proceed to trial in your case.
Right now? Yes, ma'am.
You want to have your hearing, or yes, you want to waive?
So I can't get out if I waive it. That's what you're telling me.
It does not affect your ability to post bond one way or the other.
Okay. I guess I'll do the waive it. Waive it for the.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
All right, come on, lift the pen down.
After Mr. Green is going to be Malik Green. So Jarvis Green and then Malik Green. You're Jarvis Green, sir?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, Jarvis Green.
You're charged with 2 counts of theft by deception and 2 counts of deposit account fraud. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $9,000 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I'm gonna waive it.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Say again?
Come on over there. I got it.
Stand by to sign your waiver. After Malik Green is Terry Hunton. You're Malik Green.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with simple battery and criminal trespassing. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $8,500. You're ordered to stay away from Jamaica R12, not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Can I ask you a quick question?
I need you to answer my question, sir. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
Can I waive it?
All right, and what's your question, sir?
How much is 10% of 8,500?
You
Oh,
have to speak with the bonding company, okay?
Thank you.
Judge, we got a Gonzalez. Do you want to go to Huntington first?
We could do Marco Gonzalez and then Hunton.
All right. we get- right here.
And you're Marco Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am.
charged with battery and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Do you understand what you're charged with?
I do.
Your bond is $8,500. You're ordered to stay away from Monica Martinez, not to return to 3169 Rex Ridge Terrace in Rex, Georgia. If you have any of your belongings at that address, you are to make arrangements with the sheriff to pick it up. And you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I'd like to have it.
That's gonna be set for September the 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201.
Come on, sir.
And then Terry Hunson, after Mr. Hunson is Marcus Lehman. And you're Terry Hunson.
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with simple battery. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $5,000. You're ordered to stay away from Marty Hyde, not to return to 5930 Highway 85 in Riverdale, Georgia. And you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond? Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I'd like to have it.
That's gonna be set for September 15th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy. After Mr. Laban is Lorenzo Roberts.
Lorenzo Roberts? Lorenzo Roberts? Who first yours? I'm sorry.
Marcus Laban.
You Marcus? Come on, Marcus. And then you, okay. All right. So your name?
Marcus LeBon.
All right, sir, you're charged with family violence, battery, and criminal trespassing. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $8,500. You're ordered to stay away from Andrew Anish, not to return to 1937 Stanton Way in Jonesboro, Georgia. If you have any of your belongings at that address, you are to make arrangements with the sheriff to pick it up, and you're not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
We can waive it.
Stand by to sign your waiver. All right, after Mr. Roberts is Randy Scott, and you're Lorenzo Roberts.
No, Michael Livingston.
What's your name?
Michael Livingston.
Oh. All right, Mr. Livingston, you're charged, you know what you're charged with? Do you know what you're charged with, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Do you want your charge read out loud?
No.
You do not have a bond at this time. You're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. Your court date is set for September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
I don't go home. I don't go home.
No, you don't go home. Come on.
No, sir.
Come on, you're on the back. Go in there. Go here.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Jeffrey Lamar.
Say it again.
Jeffrey Lamar.
Everybody face one, be right back.
All right, sir, you're charged with battery, cruelty to children in the first degree. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Can I speak, Your Honor?
I need you to answer my question.
I don't understand it because it was
Okay, let me read it to you. It says that on August the 26th of this year, you use your hand to grab the victim, Lucy Adams, by her neck and throw her into boxes. The victim had red lines and a scratch on her neck on the left and right side. Said offender also cut the victim's hair off and made her walk outside, showing the neighborhood what he had done to her. You're charged with battery and cruelty to children in the first degree. Your bond is $12,500. You're ordered to stay away from Lucy Adams, not to return to 804 Overlook Terrace in College Park, Georgia, and you're not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
yes, Your Honor.
Your court date is set for September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
They have a court. I have two people who already went to court and ready to go back.
What's your name, sir?
Manuel Lugo.
You're charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, that is possession of methamphetamine, brake light violation, and driving with improper tags. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
You do not have a bond at this time. You're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. Your preliminary court date is set for September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
Come on.
Good morning, man.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Khalid McMurray.
You're charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce and 2 counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, that is possession of MDMA and possession of MDMA with intent to distribute. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $26,500 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
You said 26,000?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Your preliminary court date is set for September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. You may return with the deputy.
Come on. Let's not Antonio.
Your name, sir?
Lorenzo Robinson.
You're charged with felony murder, criminal attempt, commit murder, possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Do you understand what you're charged with?
No, ma'am.
It says that on July the 24th of 2018 at 887 Fountain Circle in Stockbridge, Georgia, you did possess a firearm or a knife during the commission of an attempt to commit certain felonies. Says that you did have on your person a firearm, a red in color Sky 9mm handgun during the commission of an attempt to commit armed robbery, a felon under the laws of the state of Georgia. And as for possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, for the criminal attempt to commit armed robbery, did conspire with an accomplice to commit armed robbery of Bernardino Martir.
Excuse me, Judge. I understand you just reading out my charges and stuff, but I comprehend that part, but I never got caught with nothing.
Okay, you have to speak with your attorney, your court-appointed attorney, about the facts of your case. So you understand what you're charged with?
So far, yes, ma'am, but
You need me to continue to read the warrants, or you understand all of your charges?
I understand. I just don't got no attorney though. I tried to talk to you.
I appointed a court-appointed attorney to assist everyone today if you do not have a private attorney. You do not have a bond at this time. You are ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond in the future. You have a court date there's a preliminary court date of September the 21st at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And then you have a bond hearing date set for September the 25th at 8 a.m. in courtroom 201. And you may return with the deputy.
Come on, let's go. This way, sir, come on.
What's your name, sir?
Randy Scott Jr.
Which judge came out?
Small. Yeah, he just,
You're charged with driving on a suspended license. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Or your bond is $1,500 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I waive it.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Say it one more time, please.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Okay.
Come on, sir.
Next man, come on.
Print your name right here.
How you doing today, Judge?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name?
Marcus Simmons.
All right, Mr. Simmons, you're charged with carrying a concealed weapon, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, use or possession of drug-related object, obstructing an officer, and loitering or prowling. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
AUG.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Your bond is $11,000 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I waive it.
Stand by to sign your waiver. Your name, sir?
Norvell Van.
All right, Mr. Van, you're charged with obstructing an officer in possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $4,000 and you're ordered not to violate any laws if you post bond. Do you think you'll be able to post bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you waive your preliminary hearing or would you like to have it?
I'll waive it.
Stand by to sign your waiver.
Thank you,
You wanna
Judge.
have it or no? Oh, okay.
All right, and you said Ms. Romero is gonna be last?
Yeah, Judge, I have to go to the, I have to go to medical, I have to go to another area.
Okay, so you want me to handle the fugitive matter?
If you would.
Okay.
How you doing?
Then, sir, you're Ablis Hussein.
John.
All right, it is said that you are wanted out of Miami-Dade Police Department for credit card fraud and intent to defraud under warrant number F13023409. Do you have an attorney assisting you in your extradition hearing, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Would you like to proceed without one?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm gonna read some information to you and then you tell me how you want to handle your case, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
This hearing is being conducted pursuant to OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13. As you've heard, it's alleged that you are charged with a crime that exists in the state of Florida. You have a choice as to whether you wish to contest extradition or waive extradition and be returned to the other state without going through the formal extradition process. If you decide that you wish to contest extradition, the court may commit you to the county jail for an initial period of 30 days. During that time, a warrant will be prepared under the governor's signature for your extradition to the other state. We're not going to give you a bond at this time, as it is said that you are a fugitive from justice. If you do not wish to voluntarily return to the state of Florida, you may file what's called a writ of habeas corpus to contest the extradition. The writ of habeas corpus can only contest 4 things. The first thing is whether the extradition documents are in order on their face. The second is whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in the demanding state of Florida. The third is whether you are the person named in the request for extradition. And the fourth is whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. You cannot contest the issue of innocence or guilt in this state. You are entitled to the advice of counsel in contesting extradition or in deciding whether to waive extradition. If the state is unable to extradite you within the 30 days, you may be committed to the county jail for an additional period of 60 days awaiting your extradition. If the extradition is not completed within 90 days, then you will be released. Do you have any questions about what I just explained?
So if I really signed the extradited, how long did it?
Again, if you what?
If I really get signed to get extradited, how long do they got to come get me?
We don't have a specific amount of time that they are given, but once you waive, they notify them immediately in most cases, and then they make arrangements to come and pick you up. I have not seen it take 90 days. I know for them to pick someone up that they intend to extradite, but I don't have a specific date.
Okay.
They normally come within 10 or so days, but with COVID and all that's going on right now, maybe longer. I don't have a specific amount of time.
But it was like 30 days. If they don't come get you in 30 days, you get released, no?
No, they have them to 90 days, but I have not seen it take 90 days.
Okay.
I just can't give you a specific date.
Okay. Yeah, because this warrant been since 2013, and I went through this once before, and they never came. So that's why I was asking.
Okay, I don't have a specific date, so you'd have to decide with that in mind.
Okay.
All right. Do you know if you want to waive or if you want to contest?
So if I waive, that means I sign my to sign up for
The
them.
waiver. If you waive, you would sign the waivers.
Okay.
What would you like to do? Sir?
Waive it.
Okay, make sure that you sign at least 8 copies and keep the last one for your record, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Mhm. All right, and then I need to stand by for you to go to the other location, right?
Yes,
Or
sir.
Ms. Romero? Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
Still gonna take y'all. Hey, gotta change the plan, man.